But shout out to King Riches. You feel me? I just wanted to just like, I like his videos. I like his work. I think my only gripe with him, and I would love to do a stream or debate or just conversation talking about that, because I want him to really come through and defend his standpoint, because his standpoint just sounds like black men are not desired for, for just being black. And I don't think that's true. We got a couple things that I want to go over this stream. Shout out to my guy, King Riches. I've been watching his content for a while now. I've actually been watching his content for years, honestly. So it was unique that he did a video reaction to my video last night. And I would almost even kind of say that he might have had some influence in that video being created, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to necessarily say he did, but he was definitely one of the people I was watching when I first released this video, right? And I say that to say this. Not that he was like an inspiration for the video or nothing like that, but I say that to say I remember being in Florida, setting up my studio room, right? Setting up all of my shit and watching King Riches. I'll be watching his videos. And I've noticed, and this was like 2 years ago, right? Like 2-3 years ago, two and a half years ago, I noticed that King Riches has this like mentality that just black men are just like undesired abroad and across the globe. And he says it in such a way where it's like other races are more desirable than the black man overseas, right? Now, I know he uses my video to reinforce these ideas. My video was my perspective as a black man. It wasn't to say black men are trailing behind anybody else. I will say white men do have an advantage in the dating market globally, depending on the white man, because over so much time, people have been whitewashed and brainwashed into believing white is right. Being with a white man as a poor colored Latina or African girl is a status symbol, right? That's what it is. It's really a status symbol. It's not necessarily that white men are more desired than black men, right? That's not true. But the reality is when you're coming to places like South America, which I believe at this point in time has in-baked racism into its fabrics, like racism is still too obvious in the US, but racism in South America is not obvious. It's not obvious unless you have a trained eye to recognize racism. And I say this to guys too, right? If you're dating a Latina and she's a single mom, go look at the color of her children. If her children are not dark and none of her children are dark, she can tell you from here till tomorrow she liked black men. But the reality that I've realized about women is women will let anybody pork their guts out, but they will not let everybody impregnate their womb, okay? And that's where you psychologically have to analyze women. That's where you have to understand women. So my observation dating as a black man in Colombia is still on point. I think that's probably one of the best videos I've ever created in my life, if not the greatest video I've ever created in my life, because I broke down some serious truth that even to myself, years later, I play that video and I recognize like, yo, I was preaching during that time, right? So I want to say shout out to King Riches because he goes through the video and there are some things that I will say are true and some things that I don't believe are explicitly true, but I'll break it down as we play through it.
And do dating abroad in third world countries. So let's go and see what this guy had to say about it. And it comes from the HomiesHub YouTube channel. All right, so let's see what he had to say.
Gone to Colombia has been on your mind, huh? Or maybe you're just a little bit frustrated with how dating is where you currently are. Perhaps it's a mixture of both. Maybe you've seen all these videos, but you're still questioning it. If going to Colombia is something that you should give a try, don't worry. I'm here to help you navigate. So first things first, I just want to jump into it straight up. If you're coming from the West, more than likely you're coming from the West. That's why you came to Colombia.
This girl's gonna get famous because there is nobody that like I'm going to recognize this is a video I shot because I shot this video, right, of this girl. I'm gonna recognize that I shot this video, and it's like if more people do a reaction to this dating as a black man in Colombia video, she might one day see that she's getting super popular and known off of some shit we shot like 3 years ago. It's fucking hilarious.
Something that you need to know,
I should have made her the thumbnail.
Off the rip, is that you are in a third world country. It doesn't look like a third world country, but financially compared to the GDPs to other countries, you are in a third world country. So keep this in mind as you're going around and navigating.
Now, we're not gonna go through the whole video. I'm just showing you guys the tone of voice I took when I first made this video and how I narrated this video. Everything I said in this video is pretty much facts, right? But I do want to highlight something because I don't know exactly what timestamp he was saying it at, and I'm not gonna like go through the whole video to find it because we have so much stuff to cover tonight. But I'm bringing this up to bring up a couple things, right? When you understand that white men are the preferred race because they are a status symbol, when you understand that first and foremost, you'll stop making comparisons to yourself and white men and understand that it took years and years of brainwashing, slavery, oppression for white men to earn the symbol that they've earned today. It has nothing to do with looks maxing. It has nothing to do with how you look. And I know a lot of men, they don't say this, but they put that pressure on themselves to not look black, not come across as being black, because they think that is what women desire. That is not true, okay? Women desire black men all over the planet. The only reason you will come second to a white man is because of a forced status symbol image that they have been given. When you actually travel and you see some of these white guys overseas, they are really awkward. They do not know how to talk to women. They do not dress well. They don't smell good. They're extremely rude. The reason why Latinas and Asians and other races of women prefer black men, the ones that do, is because they genuinely feel like we're more generous. We are more on the side of entertainer, fun, the way we're portrayed in media, right? And yeah, they think we're generous and we're portrayed more of that rapper-esque, fun, dangerous kind of vibe. That's basically how we come across. So the girls that are into that, the young girls that want to hoe around and do fun shit, that's what they settle down with. White men showcase a sense of security. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want from these women? And when you understand, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what I said last night. I'm not going to, Fridays or Applebee's looking for Thai food, right? So I'm not going to hoes expecting a wife. So I could care less if she looks at me as husband material, a man that she would have babies with and settle down with. I don't care about that. That's not something to care about, nor is it something to compare myself to. But as a black man, we have to be serious. A lot of us have that stigma that we're not stable creatures or beings. We have statistics that showcase that we leave families more often than we stay. Now, granted, I know a lot of government, child support, court system nonsense plays their role in that because that was structured and set up in such a way to make black men, appear to be in this certain way, right? But this is the reality of dating as a black man, is the way you are portrayed is all they understand. And that's why we got to be very sensitive about how we talk about black men, right? Because if we continuously paint this picture that we're undesired overseas, if we continuously reinforce that idea, as a black man, you're not desired, right? She only wants you because you have money. They only want white men because they have status. It has nothing to do with physical attraction because they fucking both black and white men. Seriously. Some of these chicks will tell you, and I'll tell you based off where I've been, a lot of these girls sleep with more black men than they do white men. That's just the reality of the situation, right? A lot of them have a preference for black men, but a white man is going to be the status symbol. A white man is someone she could bring home and brag about because it's going to say, okay, you are secure. By no means does that mean that when you come to a place like Colombia or Thailand or even Peru, that white men are preferred simply because they think they're more attractive. No, the white men got to spend money too. They got to trick too. They got to support too. They got to do everything the black man has to do, if not times two, because of their status. They have to match their perception. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not really disagreeing with King Riches, but I did say last night, as someone who's been watching his content, he shares these sentiments that black men are just not desired, but I don't see a real solution. I don't see, it just sounds like breaking down the black man. And I'm telling you, as a guy who's been overseas, didn't have to trick, going to Peru was an eye opener to me. I was shitting on Peru first, but going to Peru was an eye opener to me that people are interested in black men. Maybe, because I'm a content creator, I'm walking around with a gimbal. I wasn't the only nigga streaming. There's a bunch of people streaming inside of Peru, by the way. But I was getting stopped by girls, guys, older women, younger women, calling me handsome, blowing kisses at me, all types of shit. Walking around with a camera, garnering that level of attention, right? And what I will tell you is everywhere I've been in the world and I've met white men are paying for box the same way that you perceive black men are paying for box. You go to Thailand, a lot of Thai girls don't even like dealing with white men. They like black men because they say we treat them better. We're nicer, we're cooler, we're more gentle with them. There's a whole population in Pattaya that only fucks with black guys. They only put themselves in places for them to meet black men. They literally, we call them Thai Keishas. They start formulating their entire appearance so that they look more like black women. They're trying to look like Blasians. They're trying to look like light-skinned black women so that they could attract black men. Go to Pattaya, you'll see it. 808, Tunnel, Flex. Those are clubs that are dominated by black men, and you see women flood in those clubs because they want to talk to black guys. That's not to say they won't talk to other guys if they got the money, but their whole aura is, I'm trying to attract a black man. Yeah, the white guy got money, but we don't want him. The Indian guy got money, but we don't want him. The Asian guy got money, but we don't want him. We're going to gravitate towards the black guys. They like hip hop. They like reggae. They like Afro beats. They want to be with black men. African niggas come to Thailand because they getting mad play from the Thai girls. And them African niggas ain't tricking. They don't got no money to trick. And Thai girls is fucking with them. So I feel like when you keep talking like this in the sense like, black men are just not desired, I realize that this mentality rubs off on so many other guys, and they go, yo, them Thai girls don't even like black guys like that. Like, yo, bro, what are you talking about? I was in Thailand for months. I had bitches buying me drinks, taking me out. I didn't spend $1, didn't ask me for nothing. Never asked me for nothing. She just wanted to be with a guy she thought was good looking and cool and was going to put her through there from time to time. That was my reality living in Thailand. That was my real life. I had girls that genuinely really fuck with me, genuinely want to be around black dudes. Now, granted, her reasoning for wanting to be around me might not be as deep as her reasoning for having a child with a Thai guy, right? Because there's a familiarity. You're a foreigner. It's going to be harder for you to crack that barrier, but you go to Thailand, you see mixed babies. There's a lot of Blasians in Thailand. There's a lot of black Thai women that were born and their father was some guy in the military or the army. Those girls are reproducing with black people. Colombia, I don't see a lot of, my dad was white. Like, they're a very homogenous culture. They have children with their own. White guys are still facing the same bullshit we face, and they still getting drugged the same way black guys getting drugged. If anything, I think white guys get drugged more often. Like, the only thing that separates the white man and the black man, why the white man might have the perception that he's wanted more often, is because white skin is a status symbol that has been beaten, pillaged, and forced upon people. White is right. It's not a natural preference for them. I'm telling y'all, it's not. It's not a natural preference for South Americans to prefer white people. It's not a natural preference. It's forced. And even then, they still want money. They still want money from these white guys. These white guys are spending thousands of dollars taking care of some of these girls. They trick in the same way. So now here's my thing. If the black man tricking, if the white man tricking, who does she actually prefer? There's not enough data to say these white men are coming here and impregnating these Colombians. No, there's not enough data. The only reason you see European DNA floating through South America is because of the grape system that they enforced in this continent for hundreds of years. Outside of that, you would think that they would be voluntarily just getting themselves pregnant by white men, and that's not happening. That's not happening. So even though they beat, pillage, force, and graped people into submission and trying to accept white skin and creating a hierarchy and classism, they're still not they're still not getting that preferential treatment. Even if the status is there, the status was not a natural selection. It was forced, it was manufactured, it was artificed. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know how much King Richard travels. Like I said, I like his content. This is by no means to slander the brother or anything like that. I don't know how much he travels, but he talks like a guy, in my opinion, that hasn't really lived outside of his bubble, and he's only going through the perception of what he sees online, because he's very strong and adamant. And he poses a couple questions in the chat, like, listen, bro, you only really getting this girl because you tricking on it. If you wasn't tricking on it, she wasn't fucking with you, right? Yeah, bro, because she's a hoe and a gold digger. That's what she's gonna do. But my experience living in Colombia, when I made this video, I was still very new. And even then, and nowhere in this video did I say that bitches wasn't gonna fuck with you just to fuck with you. I never said that. But even though I like the fact that he reviewed my video, I feel like he used it to reinforce this negative mentality that he's casted on himself about whether or not black men are actually desired in Colombia. My conversation had nothing to do with desirability. This conversation was about you being a foreigner and being a foreign black man. When you go to Colombia, you're gonna trick, nigga. You're gonna trick. Their whole culture here is transactional, even amongst other Colombians. Colombians gotta pay for box too. Oh, y'all didn't know that? Colombians is down here. I've been saying this to you guys. The biggest purchasers of box in Colombia are other Colombians. I've been saying this shit. Colombians buy the most box in Colombia. They have all these little places where box is being sold, and there's Colombian niggas that done saved up a couple dollars, got some money, walk through one of these areas, pick a girl up. They all do the love motel shit. Only us foreigners bring girls back to our crib for some reason. These niggas do not do that. You can get some of these spots, you pay 15 pesos, $4. $4 to have a spot for an hour or two. These Colombians is recirculating their hard-earned dollars into buying box. It's not just that foreigners are coming here and buying up all the box. That S work and that S tourism shit is very alive and breathing in this country, bro. And I'm gonna get to my next point because we about to go back to this passport sister. She is a super grifter. I'm just impressed with how much super grifting that she can do, right? So we're gonna get back to this passport sister because I can see she's using guys getting sent back as a way to try to, like, just grift. Honestly, in my honest to God opinion, I don't think she like black men. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. See, this is a girl, I'll tell you, I don't think she like black men. Right? Hold on, chat. Let me put in my code real quick. But yeah, so shout out to him. I think he has some good points. Guys got to go overseas and pay for box because the girls don't really want them. But I think the point of my video was less about you not being desired, and it was more just about the transactional nature of living in Colombia. And I'm probably going to do a video on this, okay? I'm going to do a video where I talk about and showcase to y'all that Colombians are buying just as much box as foreigners are. Now, when you're in a poor country and you have substance, you have money, you have finance, women are going to expect you to spend money regardless. That's what I said in this video. He kind of cherry picked the parts that worked to formulate his argument, but he wasn't actually watching the whole video, right? When you are a foreigner, there's no such thing as hookup culture for you because you have the bread. Fuck foreigner. Let's just change the whole dynamic. If you're a nigga with money, women have a higher expectation on you than they do other men. That's everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, if you have money, women have a higher expectation of you. So when you are a foreigner, they have a higher expectation of you. That's just the reality of the situation. So you're gonna end up spending money. You're not gonna convince her that you're Colombian. They have a sixth sense. Once they recognize you're not from here, oh yeah, Poppy, you gotta do more. That dollar's stronger. That currency you earn, you're in a foreign land you not from. Where she's from, niggas can't even travel. They can't even go to the next city over, let alone go to a whole nother continent and be there spending money and going out and doing things. Oh, you ain't working a week? We don't get paid if we take time off. If I'm not selling baskets of fruit and juice and gum and candy, we're not eating today. So for you to be something different, you got the bread. If you got the bread as a poor, starving girl, she's going after the bread. She's going after the bread. A lot of them had to relocate to different countries to sell their bodies because they don't have no other options. This don't got nothing to do with being black, being white, being attractive, being desirable, and this ain't King Richards, but this is more so some of you just unexperienced niggas. When you guys start traveling, you guys start thinking y'all the black Brad Pitt and women are so attracted to you and you don't gotta pay for it. And I'm like, nigga, you're a fool. You're a fool. If there's anything I've been trying to concretely paint for you guys on this channel is that women's psychology and their social economic well-being will overrun any level of attraction or attractiveness that you think you have. A woman will choose a black man with money over a poor white nigga any day of the week. I promise you that. Unless she is conditioned to be racist against black men, she will choose a rich black nigga over a poor white nigga any day of the week. This is now my next point I want to go into. Some of y'all forget there's black Colombians in Colombia. There's black men in Colombia. If you spend enough time, I'm not going to say it's like a dominant thing because psychologically, humans tend to gravitate to other humans that look like them. I have noticed that there is a strong homogenous culture in Colombia where black Colombians date black Colombians, white Paisa Colombians date white Paisa Colombians, or they deal with the mestizos, which are kind of like a small mixture of everything, but they're still lighter complected beings, right? Black Colombians do not often integrate with each other family-wise. Now, that's not to say it doesn't happen. It does happen. I'm still studying it. I'm trying to figure out what those babies actually look like, because I would think they would look like Chris Brown or J. Cole's or Drake's, but you don't see a lot of those phenotypes in Colombia. So the only thing I can make the assumption off of is that they're not mixing that much. But I have seen black Colombian men with light-skinned Colombian women. I've seen light-skinned Colombian men with dark-skinned Colombian women. They do that here. Even though it's not super common, it's not looked at as being strange. Okay? Because like I said, their racism is not on the surface. It's baked into their culture. Okay? It's baked into the culture where they naturally make these differences without realizing it because it's been around them for so long. Americans are still outright racist. So you see and feel the racism. Okay? But I say that to say this. Black Colombian men get just as much pussy as any other colored man in the country. Men from Choco are very desired by all skin types and skin complexions. They're very desired. The racism is not seen amongst attraction. It's seen systematically. It's recognized culturally, right? It's not necessarily like, oh, that's a black Colombian. He can't, I can't do nothing with it. It's more so like it's a status symbol to be white. That's it. It's a status symbol to be white. So if lighter skinned Colombian women, because they're definitely letting them smash. Don't get it twisted. Darker Colombian men are putting those light skinned Colombian women through the mattress. I don't want you niggas thinking that they not, because they 100% are. But they might not be having children with them because they desire their children to be whiter. A lot of these light skinned Colombian women, their grandparents are black. They're Negro. And once they have the opportunity to start lightening their skin, they do. They start lightening their skin. The guys, they put texturizer in their hair. You see it when you come out here. They're trying to get away from being black. They're trying to get away from being Negro because it's a status symbol. But you see the same shit in Thailand. Those dark-skinned Thai girls, there are Thai people that are darker than me. They start bleaching their skin black, being dark throughout history, right? Is being seen as not being a good status symbol, but it's not attraction. Because I promise you could be black and go anywhere in the world and get some play. Anywhere in the world, you could be a black man and you can get some play. So I just want to, I hope I got my point across. For those of you guys that's coming in here, hit the like button. Hit the like button if you guys are appreciating the stream tonight. $ HomiesHub, send a Cash App and make your support known. Send a super chat. We're going to go into this next video when I read these comments real quick. Riches, you feel me? I just wanted to just I like his videos. I like his work. I think my only gripe with him, and I would love to do a stream or debate or just conversation talking about that, because I want him to really come through and defend his standpoint, because his standpoint just sounds like black men are not desired for just being black. And I don't think that's true.